Greetings, everyone! I'd like to start by saying that I've had a little fan art made for me from time to time, which I really appreciate. But in celebration of 5,000 subscribers, a user on DeviantArt by the name of Yoh-SL, and I know I butchered that, drew this magnificent piece of my character. I can't put into words how impressed I am with this, especially considering I'm just some schmuck on the internet, and someone went out of their way to produce something like this for me. Check out his DeviantArt page, I'll link to it in the video description. On the note of the voting, organizing all those games took a lot longer than I was expecting, but it was about as much work as I was expecting. There were a total of 377 unique games listed. Now, I can't very well have everyone vote between all of those, or we'd be here all day, or all week. So I narrowed down the list. If a lot of games were listed from a series, I picked a single game from the series. I also removed any masochistic games from the list outright. Do not suggest them. Let me repeat that. Do not suggest them. I do not enjoy these games, and I do not like the challenge. I would not get panicky and funny. I would get angry. If you've ever been in the room with someone who's infuriated to the point of being scary, you'll know why these games are not a good idea. I digress. I narrowed down the list again and again, removing games I simply wouldn't enjoy doing. If I wouldn't enjoy doing them, it wouldn't make much of an LP. I've got the list narrowed down to 144 games, still trying to keep a well-rounded selection. I'll split the list into 12 groups of 12. Each of you can vote for a single game in each of the 12 categories. If you vote for more than one, I'm just going to use the first game you mentioned. The winners of the 12 categories will go into a final video, where everyone can vote for the finalist. The winner here will be my next Let's Play. I'll add that since I'm not choosing the game under my own power, how I do the game is my own choice. I will give restrictions, use walkthrough, or if I think it's necessary, even blatantly cheat. That aside, the 12 games for round 1 are as follows. Keep in mind, I'm not too familiar with all of them, so I may not give the best descriptions. If you really want to know about a game, look it up yourself. Chibi Robo. I can't say much about this one, it's kind of adventure-ish. You control a tiny robot trying to make a family's living better. Aquaria. Underwater, I guess you could call it a Metroid Castlevania type that gets stupid hard in the end. Guardian of Paradise. It's an indie game that functions a lot like a Zelda game. Goof Troop. I want to call it kind of a dungeon crawler where you can play co-op. Baten Kaitos. It's an RPG where the battle system revolves around cards. Bomberman Tournament. It's a Bomberman game. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. It's a co-op Kirby game that plays in a much more drawn-out world instead of stage-based, with a focus more on exploration. Assassin Blue. It's an indie game, kind of platformer, hack-and-slashy type. I don't know too much about it. Shining Force 2. I want to say this is a tactical RPG. The image that's up, I'm sure, will tell you more than I can tell you. And I may just bring along Ogre to co-commentate. Earthbound. I shouldn't need to say more than this. A light-hearted RPG. Persona 4. From the well-known Persona series, it's an RPG where the focus is on using characters that have stands, for lack of a better word. They call them personas. Super Paper Mario. side-scrolling Mario game in the Paper Mario series, but it takes a step away from the RPG elements of the previous ones. As an attempt to influence the votes, I'll say from this list I'd vote for either Persona 4 or Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. Kirby would be a fun co-op and gives you a whole world to explore, but since reading up on it, I've wanted an excuse to play Persona 4 and make JoJo's Bizarre Adventure jokes.